Hi guys, it's Amanda Watson from MrsWatsonEducation.com, which is my personal blog where I share tips and resources with you, the teachers of the world, to help your jobs be a little bit easier because we all know teaching is hard and we need each other to survive. So today's topic is ClassroomScreen.com, and if you've never heard of this resource, you are in for a treat. I couldn't believe all the things you can do with this when my media specialist, she's amazing, told me about this, and I felt like I was living under a rock. So I use it for easy Champs. If you know what Champs is and your district uses Champs, it's one-click Champs board at your fingertips, and also as an interactive whiteboard, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and share my whole screen with you now so you can kind of see what that looks like. So you're going to go into classroomscreen.com. You can Google it. It's the first thing that pops up. Now, in preparing for this video, I went on classroomscreen.com. I haven't done that since school's shut down and I had a classroom to use this with. And now it's summer break. I was preparing. I'm like, ooh, they've made some really cool upgrades. So some of the features you could see in classroom screen. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you some of the new things and the features. Is you have immediately this bright background. Now the background is completely customizable. You can pick one of the pre-set photos. So if I want to have this beautiful beach scene, I can. You can go ahead and have animated scenes. You could have different, it's just block colors. You can upload your own picture, so that's great for documents or files if you want them to see them really big visually, in addition to some of these other features I'll show you, which is very nice to have. The next item on the toolbar on the bottom is the random name generator. This is great. You used to have to input the name list, so like your rosters list, every single time you opened up Classroom Screen, but now they let you save up to 3 lists, which is great with the free account. So if you are an elementary school teacher and have 2 classes you switch between all day, that's fantastic. I'm a middle school teacher, so I have 6 classes, so 3 is not going to cut it for me quite yet, so I might consider upgrading my account. And I also saw in their upgrades, and it's not available yet, but soon they're going to work on you being able to save the screen. So once you make all of these, you'll see all the features that you want and can move around. You can actually save it. So instead of having to rebuild it each time, that's a great feature. I love, love, love that. So back to the random names. You could import your student roster list and have it choose one person randomly to answer the question or to present their project. I've also used this not with the individual names because I have so many kids, but I use it for like group projects when a student was presenting like their landform project. So I'd have, you know, deltas and sinkholes and all those different landforms they're working on in my random name generator, and I'd pick the group name instead of the student's name, and they would go first in their presentation. So just something I use to make that work for me. Dice, I haven't used this, but it's really great. You have 1, 2, or 3 die options that you can roll to get different numbers. Great for games, great for math, I'm assuming, as well. This is something I use all the time, and it's always so funny because the students are looking, it's a sound level monitor. It's pretty sensitive, or at least it used to be. I haven't been able to test it out besides right now in this video, so I haven't had a class of students. Normally I put it on the lowest sensitivity. Max noise can change to what your threshold is, and the students can get to that noise. You could change it so the alarm goes off if they get to a warning point, and the students will sit there and they'll self-correct, like, we're in the yellow, shh. And it's so funny because it uses the microphone in your computer, but they don't know that, and they're like, where is it hearing us? What do you have going on? It's hilarious. I love it. But that's a really nice feature, a Champs classroom management feature that's just right there available at your fingertips. In addition to everything, you could have multiple things up at once. Next is a QR code. I don't use this often. I would use it a lot for like my open house parent nights if I want the parents to come in and scan my classroom information or whatever. I would use it for that. There's other ways you could use it in the classroom, but that's available, which is great. I'm going to skip draw for now because I want to show you something about it at the very end, which is so great. This next feature, and you can have multiple text boxes up now, which is fantastic. It used to be a little bit limited. You can manipulate the size now. That used to be very constrained to a certain size. So many beautiful upgrades to this program. You can enter your text, and that's just what it is. You would enter your text, and some people use it for their daily bell ringers they'll type out, or their quick writes they'll type out. I use this for my directions. I do labs, and they have a lot of different steps and components to them. And of course, at the beginning of the lab, I explain verbally all these steps, but we all know some of these kids, you know, they hear one direction and it's gone this next minute. So it's really nice to have it clearly labeled out there. First, you're going to do this. Second, do this. When you're done, turn it in here, and then this is your option to do. And they can check and self-correct as they go through their activity and lesson, just making your life easier, less questions to answer because it's there for students and they respond to that easier. Work symbols, another Champs thing, is great. If you want them silent working, whispering, asking a neighbor, or working together, it's available at your fingertips to put on the screen so they know what your expectations are. Same with traffic light. I don't use these per se, but I know a lot of teachers that find this feature really fantastic. So it's great to have, once again, that visualization. Timer, I love the timer. You can have multiple timers set if you'd like. And I use my Amazon Echo, she's listening in the other room, I can't talk too loud, to do my quick timers. And if you read my Amazon must-have list, like things that every teacher should have, you'll see that's like #1 on the list, because when I do small quick activities, I'll say something like, okay, you have 55 seconds to write this down and share it with a partner. And I'll say, Echo, start timer for 55 seconds. And she does that, a voice command. I don't have to run over to her. She could listen to me and set that timer, and it's really nice for that. But when I have a longer activity, like I want students to be doing something at 15, 16, 18 minutes, and that 20 minutes I want them to do something else, I could have these longer timers going, visual on the screen. The kids can see them. They know that 18 minutes means 18 minutes, and they could see those countdown. The 2 is too distracting for me right now, so I'm just gonna put the 1 up there. But you could have it go off with a different sound, which is really cool. You could choose the different sounds it alerts to. But this is fantastic because it keeps students on track. We all know humans love to procrastinate. Students are the same. They like to procrastinate when you say, okay, you're gonna work in your groups, you're gonna have this, till this time to get it done. They don't check the clock. They think that time's gonna last forever. They're gonna catch up with their friend and talk about what happened at PE first and who said what at lunch. And then eventually they're gonna start getting to work and they think they have the whole rest of the class to do it, and they don't. And then they start scrambling towards the end. This is a great way for them to visually see, I have this much time left, let's get focused. And you will be amazed when you have a timer up visually for the students to see how they self-monitor themselves. And even the groups that are procrastinating a little bit more, you stick in like there's always that one kid in the group who's like, guys, we only have 10 minutes left, we gotta get working. Okay. And they get it done. So use timers for your classroom. Same thing, stopwatches, same idea. You could do that for different reasons. Clock, I don't use this very frequently, but I do use it during state testing. In state testing, you're required to post certain things. I'm not gonna use the drawing yet, sorry. I meant to put the text. So you could put your start time, your end time, your codes on your test, whatever you're legally required to display in your classroom, and you have the screen for the students to see the time, what that is. A lot of students, this is what you have a regular clock in the classroom. They can't read those analog clocks, so they need that digital time format. This is a great way to display that in your classroom very, very quickly. Once again, you can adjust the time. Calendar, I don't use this again, but if I was elementary morning meetings, I would use that all the time, so I have my quick check-in, stuff like that. It's a great tool. Now, going back to Draw, because I love this feature. I used to have an interactive whiteboard in my classroom. I don't anymore. So this allows me to, I could have multiple, multiple boards. You can customize the size. You can have different pen colors. You could draw on it, whatever you want to do. Get a wireless mouse. It's another thing on my Amazon list of things that all teachers should have, because now I'm not restrained to my desk. I could walk around the class and monitor, and I could write on or draw or do anything with my virtual whiteboard now, or my interactive whiteboard. Now I'm going to get rid of this one to show you the way to step that up, because it's not very often I need just the whiteboard surface. My mouse is difficult sometimes to actually use. The students love it though when you give them opportunity, like draw what you just did, or show me this. That's a really great way to have that feature still in your classroom. But it gets better. So they just made their upgrade where they have now background patterns. You can see this looks like regular notebook paper, which is fun. You have graph paper, which I love. Different design paper. This is for like elementary, practicing your words, music. So those are great, great features that they used to not have. And I love that they thought about how we use them. I could use this for what I'm going to show you, but there's not a lot of times where that's going to work for me. I don't teach elementary, I teach middle school. So they might be doing a lab where they have a data table that I have to get from different groups and enter it in, so I could put it up there. I could take a picture of the data table from their document and put it up there and upload it to that screen. So I'm going to show you if I upload a graph picture, this is my graph from a lab that we do. They're doing speed graphs. And now all of a sudden I have this graph that they're all working on their worksheet. And I can either A, be the teacher and show them what it should look like using, you know, my mouse and my skills, or I make it interactive. I bring the mouse to the student that wants to show me their speed graph, and we could talk about it. And they get so excited because, you know, they don't have to leave their seat. I come to them and they can do the work and show the work without having to explain it, without having to go up to the front of the classroom and draw it on the board, which is very scary for a lot of students. This makes it a little bit easier, and it's so much fun. You could just erase what they did. You could change small sections, change the color. It's fantastic, and they get such joy out of that. So that's one of the ways I love using Classroom Screen. Like I said, you can have multiple boxes up there, and I love now that you can customize the sizes. That used to not be an option, and it gives you a lot more flexibility. It's not coming down like I want it to, of course, but okay. I don't have time to work with that. So that's great. I love the fact that they're adding the save. So if I wanted to do this for 3 classes for 2 days that week, I can have it saved in the future, not right now, and I don't have to reset it every time. Because before, you'd have to come in and, okay, re-upload the picture, reset this, resize this stuff. And I think there's some really great features. Now, that's Classroom Screen. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, because it is one of my favorite classroom tools to use frequently. It's easy to use, it's free. You can obviously make a donation to the person who's creating this wonderful content for us to use. So I hope you enjoy that, and stay tuned for more tips and tricks and resources for me in the future. Remember, my blog is www.mrswatsoneducation.com, and I hope to see you again. Bye!